House.
Shh. I'm with a patient. Sleep study.
You drugged him?
I didn't say the study was voluntary.
I think you're sick.
Because I'm sleeping in the clinic like I always do?
Slow reaction time.
Because I just woke up from sleeping in the clinic like I always do.
You're forgetful.
Sorry, what did you say?
You forgot that we're supposed to have lunch?
I didn't forget. I was sleeping in the clinic.
I'd like to run some tests.
For what? Where's this coming from?
Hepatic encephalopathy. I've watched you destroy your body with Vicodin for years. I'm surprised your liver's lasted this long. I'll do the examination myself.
While having you juggle my jewels sounds interesting. There's no such thing as friends with benefits. It always gets weird.
Something's going on with House. It just seemed off. Didn't even notice that I walked out of the room with this.
You began to suspect he was off when you didn't notice the mug you stole to see if he was off? What else didn't he notice that you don't want us to notice?
Those are the same clothes you wore yesterday.
And you got very defensive when House took your birth control.
Who was he? Or better yet, she?
Do I need to explain the physiology behind birth control? Attention deficit in a man who has no attention deficits has to be symptomatic of something.
You're right. I'm thinking either massive brain tumor or his soap got canceled and he's distracted.
Could be dietary, breathsome.
Or maybe he thinks you just have more than one nondescript white blouse.
Or serotonin syndrome. I'm not saying he's definitely sick. I'm just saying we should look into it.
No, we shouldn't. If you believe House is sick, it's only because that's what he wants you to believe.
House never loses.
Seriously? Me beating House is medically significant?
It could be. Reduce fine motor control, add that to inattention and liver flap. It does make sense.
We have to talk to Foreman.
No, we don't. First of all, because I can beat him in that game. And second, even if you are right, there's no reason to believe that House's medical judgment is impaired.
So we should wait until he kills someone for confirmation.
You really think it's a coincidence that we're treating a whistleblower and now talking about blowing the whistle on House? You're right. Playing dumb, messy signature, losing a video game. It's way too complicated to fake.
Oh, good. Taubes cured the patient.
I had to go to the bathroom.
Bathroom's that way. You just ran it from that way.
That one's been out of order for 2 days. I had to go up to the 3rd floor. I'm not lying. It's out of order.
I believe you. I'm gonna fix it.
We could treat if he doesn't know he's being treated. Lacey's sponge bath?
It would take too long to reach his bloodstream.
What if we air slice steroids and blast the room?
Speaking of which, it'd be too hard to get the prednisone concentrations right. No one fixes anything unless they have a compelling reason. If we're gonna treat, we have to give him a compelling reason. Something that he wants more than an interview. Fire in the hole!
I need to take a dump. Specifically, House's dump.
You set this up?
All it took was showing up 2 minutes late and a $2 sign. Bile deposits are irregular. House's liver is failing.
Cognitive impairment will get progressively worse.
Cholesterol embolization.
Are you even gonna acknowledge what we just told you?
That you pilfered my poo-poo? Yeah, I was thinking it would be less awkward for all of us if we could just pretend that never happened.
It's not an embolization. No instrumentation inside the arteries.
thank you for getting us back.
And if we start you on treatment now, get you off Vicodin.
It's the opposite of thank you. Pretty sure it ends in you. I know my body, I'm fine. With hemoglobinemia.
Army test for G6PD deficiency. If you're not sick, then our tests, accurate 99.5% of the time, yielded a false positive 3 separate times. The odds of that are 1 in 8 million.
The test is accurate. Diagnosis isn't. Sample was obviously contaminated with other foods interacting with my liver enzymes. Now, can we talk about the sick patient?
His clot dissolved. That could have caused a vasospasm. DIC could have been caused by Bernard-Soulier syndrome. And you're sick, and you have to do something about it.
If we got a patient file with the same symptoms you're exhibiting.
And the symptoms I'm not exhibiting? Jaundice, ascites, fetor hepaticus.
We can't tell if your breath stinks because you've been popping mints like they're Vicodin.
And you'd still diagnose hepatic encephalopathy. I know that because 4 doctors you train have unanimously diagnosed you with hepatic encephalopathy.
Park's right. Treat the patient with heparin. Loss of hair color indicates an autoimmune condition, likely Graves' disease. Hyperthyroidism leads to a hypercoagulable state, which causes thrombosis, right around antithyroids.
You want to reject our current diagnosis because he had a few gray hairs, panicked, and shaved his head?
I want to reject our current diagnosis because I think we're wrong. And treating for wrong diagnoses can result in side effects like death.
Even if he did fully go gray, stress seems way more likely than Graves.
I haven't read any journal articles proving that veterans have a higher incidence of deep pigmentation. Though, of course, that could be the hepatic encephalopathy talking.
I've scheduled a liver function
If I
test.
ignore you, then you'll just ignore my ignoring, which is rude, frankly.
Depending on the results, we'll customize a treatment plan.
If I tell you I think I'm sick and I need your help and we need to set up a time to talk about it, just assume I'm lying. Again, rude. Also hurtful.
Why is it that you can find the smallest thing wrong with anyone else, but when it comes to you...
I really don't have a choice here, do I?
No, you don't.
Yeah, except the anti-malarials aren't curing him.
Gonorrhea? If it got into his heart.
We did an echo, his valves look good. What about... You bastard. You were faking. Yesterday, House stole candy by putting it into a cup. The cup was too small, so his solution was to remove some of the candy. But the obviously logical thing was to just get a bigger cup, which he did today, because he's no longer faking.
He couldn't have faked it. We tested your...
I took St. John's wort to alter the way my liver metabolized acetaminophen. And some N-acetylcysteine just to finish it off.
You tortured them to torture me just to see who you could trust?
I did it to save lives. God, I wish I could rationalize that one.